I still crack up that these prompts are ordered the way that they are because I put them in no particular order when I wrote the book. If you're wondering what I'm talking about the Create Your Victory Channel Journal, 365 journal prompts to capture the goodness of God. We're walking through this daily together, and I'm amazed at how the prompts lined up. I mean, through editing and through all the stuff, they got all shifted around and moved around. But when I'm going through this now live with you guys, I'm going through it with you. I'm writing in my journal just like you are. And I'm amazed at how they line up. So today's prompt on page 169 says, He examines my motives. But it ties directly into yesterday's prompt of He searches my heart. So I actually wrote down two different perspectives of it. When I was thinking about yesterday, I was talking about God healing my heart. But when I talk about today, about He examines my motives, I wrote down, that He keeps me in check. That it's not about me or my ego, but it's about Him and who I'm serving. And so by Him searching my motives and examining my motives, this comes up a lot during prayer. When I'm praying for certain things, I'm like, why am I asking for these things? Like the Holy Spirit's prompting me to say, is this really for you? Is this really serving a bigger picture? Or is this serving just you and just your ego and just your earthly self? Because that's not the point. The point is to glorify our God. That's our purpose, is to glorify God. And so if we are not doing that, we need to ask ourselves, what are we doing? What are we here for? We're here to glorify God. We're here to make Him known. We're here to be in a relationship with Him, to know Him intimately, to worship Him. If we're not doing those things and we're just self-seeking all the time, He knows that motive, first of all. And He's going to check us. I'm just going to say, He's going to check you like they do in basketball, right? Where they bump you. I think that's what they call it, checking. My son will correct me, right? From back in the day when he played. But that's the thing. God will check you. He will say, really, you really want this or that? I was talking earlier to someone about winning the lottery. And it's like, I don't know, some crazy, outrageous millions of dollars, like almost $300 million or something. And I said, that's crazy. I can only imagine the awesome things I could do for God with that money. And the response was, oh yeah, we could do some amazing things. But I also think about how many people wouldn't do things for God with that money, who would take that money and the first thing would be to themselves. Or they would say, well, I'll tithe my money, which is fantastic, tithing. But if you had that much money, what good could you do in the world with it? If you look in the Bible, it doesn't take much to serve other people. You don't need millions and millions of dollars to serve other people. He's looking at your motives right now. If all you have is one fish, what are you doing with it? If all you have is your gift of speaking, of encouragement, or whatever your gift is, teaching, if that's all you have, what are you doing with that? What's your motive? It's not about the big things. Now, the Bible does say, if you're faithful in the little things, you'll be faithful to much. Excuse me, got a little tickle. But we have to be faithful in the little things first. And so often we're not. We're chasing the big things. It happens all the time. You see it all the time with authors. You see it across the board, really, in any entrepreneurial career. You see it. People want the big things, right? They want a membership filled with thousands of people. They want this, they want that, but they're not even faithful in the little things. They're not even faithful with the one reader that reached out or the one membership member that joined. They're not faithful with those things. Why would God bless them with more? I know I've seen it when people I've worked with, entrepreneurs that I've worked with, and it's kind of heartbreaking. It's like you want all these things, but you're not even being faithful. You're not even being a good steward of what God's already given you. What are your motives here? Are your motives just self-serving and more? Or are your motives really to honor God and serve Him with the gifts you've been given? So take some time today, write it down, check yourself if you need to, and ask yourself, what are your motives? Maybe you just answer that question in there. What are my motives? And see what arises. It'll be interesting. Until tomorrow.